Have you ever had one of those nights where you wake up suddenly, feeling that burning sensation in your chest and throat, wondering if you'll ever get a good night's sleep again? For many people over 65, that discomfort is more than just a passing annoyance. It can feel like a nightly battle against a stubborn foe called GERD, or gastroesophageal reflux disease. Perhaps you've tried antacids or changed a few eating habits here and there, yet it keeps coming back, interfering with your sleep and sometimes making you cautious about what you eat or drink during the day. If this sounds familiar, you're certainly not alone. But what if there's a little-known holistic approach that can make a real difference in how you manage GERD? An approach many seniors completely overlook. Part of the challenge is that after 65, our bodies aren't quite the same as they were a decade or two earlier. The muscles around your digestive tract might be weaker, your metabolism may be slower, and your overall activity level could be different from what it used to be. Sometimes doctors prescribe medication to control acid levels, and those medications can be incredibly helpful. But focusing on pills alone might keep you from discovering other changes that could bring you even greater relief. Addressing GERD isn't just about quieting the discomfort, it's about improving your daily quality of life. Imagine enjoying a nice meal without dreading the aftermath, or lying down in bed with the confidence that you'll drift off to sleep comfortably. Wouldn't that be a welcome relief? What we're going to explore goes beyond the standard "don't eat spicy foods and avoid lying down after dinner" recommendations you've probably heard 1,000 times. We'll talk about how small, intentional shifts in your daily routine can lead to surprisingly big results, especially for those of us in our mid-60s, 70s, or beyond. We'll delve into how the way you move, the timing and selection of your meals, how you handle stress, and a few clever adjustments to your environment can become powerful allies in fighting GERD. You won't find any instant miracle cures here. Those often turn out to be myths anyway. Instead, you'll discover well-rounded strategies that can become part of a healthy lifestyle, with benefits that extend far beyond just soothing your reflux. Through the stories of seniors who've dealt with reflux flare-ups, you'll see what worked for them, what didn't, and why. You'll learn how to navigate medication discussions with your healthcare provider without feeling overwhelmed. You'll also get practical tips that can be adapted whether you're living in a retirement community, in your own home, or somewhere in between. Best of all, these changes can help you reclaim confidence and comfort in your everyday life. GERD doesn't have to dictate your meal times or steal your sleep. By the end of this journey, you'll have a clearer path to fewer restless nights and a calmer digestive system, and maybe even a renewed sense of control over your health. Before we dive in, take a moment to reflect. How often have you shrugged off your reflux as just a normal part of aging? Consider setting aside that assumption for a bit and keep an open mind as you listen. You might be pleasantly surprised by what you learn and by how these strategies can fit seamlessly into your routine. Are you ready? Let's see how to turn that nightly nuisance into a problem you can manage with confidence and ease. It's tempting to believe that managing GERD primarily comes down to which medications you take. While medications do play a role, let's start by challenging the idea that pills alone carry the entire burden of relief. Meet Geraldine, who just turned 74. She had been dealing with acid reflux for nearly a decade. Whenever her doctor adjusted her medication, she experienced some temporary relief, but it never seemed to last. Eventually, the discomfort would creep back in. Feeling frustrated, she began to believe her reflux was a permanent companion, something she simply had to accept. What Geraldine found, however, was that her day-to-day habits had a powerful impact on how her body responded to GERD. For years, she ate a quick breakfast, sometimes skipped lunch, then had a large dinner late in the evening. By bedtime, she often felt a burning in her throat. Her doctor advised smaller meals and an earlier dinner time, but Geraldine figured that medication should handle the acid, so she didn't pay much attention to mealtime adjustments. When she finally gave it a genuine try, spacing out her meals and finishing dinner earlier, the difference was staggering. She felt more energetic in the evenings, her nighttime reflux episodes dropped significantly, and she started to trust her body again. This is where you can pause and ask yourself, are there simple mealtime or portion changes that you might be overlooking? Sometimes shifting your biggest meal to midday and having a lighter dinner can do wonders. It might take some planning, especially if you enjoy social dinners or or in a routine where dinner is traditionally your main meal. But even gradual shifts can help your stomach settle. Having your final meal at least 3 hours before bedtime is often recommended, and for many seniors, that alone reduces nighttime discomfort. Keep in mind that it's not just about how much or how late you eat. The kind of foods you choose makes a big difference. High-fat meals can linger in the stomach longer, increasing the chance of reflux. Meanwhile, leaning on fiber-rich vegetables and whole grains can aid digestion and reduce pressure on the stomach. There's also a simple step many people forget: staying upright after meals. If possible, take a short, gentle walk or remain seated in a comfortable chair rather than lying down. For seniors with mobility challenges, even a few steps around the house or some gentle chair exercises can assist digestion. You might wonder why these little actions matter so much when there are all sorts of medications to reduce acid. The truth is, we need that balance. Medications can help manage the acid, but your daily habits help manage the overall environment in your stomach. Think of it this way. You could have the best umbrella in the world, but if you step into a downpour wearing paper shoes, you'll still end up in a soggy mess. Medication is like that sturdy umbrella, while habits are the footwear that keep your feet dry. When you pair the two, you're far more likely to stay comfortable. Geraldine's journey reminds us that mealtime behaviors can shift the trajectory of GERD. By introducing mindful meal scheduling, portion control, and a focus on easier-to-digest foods, you set the stage for calmer days and quieter nights. It might feel odd at first, especially if you've spent decades with certain eating patterns, but think of it as a gentle reset. You're not depriving yourself. You're giving your body a chance to function the way it's meant to, without the added stress of late-night digestion. As you consider this, ask yourself, what's one small tweak you could try at your next meal to see if it makes a difference? Let's move to another key area that often goes unnoticed: physical activity and its surprising role in reducing GERD symptoms. If you've been told that exercise and digestion don't mix, or if you've worried that being active might worsen your reflux, you might be holding on to an outdated misconception. Lawrence, age 68, found this out the hard way. He used to lead a fairly active life, regular walks around his neighborhood, a bit of gardening, and occasional rounds of golf. Then GERD appeared. Concerned that exercise might make the burning in his chest worse, Lawrence slowed down significantly. Over time, his digestion issues persisted, and to his surprise, became more frequent. It wasn't until he joined a local walking group that everything changed. Initially, he worried that walking briskly after a meal might aggravate his reflux. But as he kept moving, especially in the morning or a few hours after dinner, he noticed his discomfort gradually lessened. Part of this benefit comes from how regular physical activity helps maintain a healthy body weight and supports better muscle tone around the abdomen. It also encourages the digestive system to process foods more efficiently, reducing the chances of excess acid backing up into the esophagus. Lawrence even found that he slept better on days he managed a moderate walk or some light stretching. You might be nodding along but thinking, that's great for someone who's fairly mobile. What if getting around isn't so easy for me? The reality is that not everyone can head out for a brisk mile-long walk, but you can adapt. Chair yoga, gentle stretching routines, or even pacing slowly around your living room can help. The goal isn't to become a marathon runner. It's to introduce consistent, moderate movement that supports healthy digestion. If you have arthritis or joint pain, you can opt for low-impact activities like water aerobics or simple at-home routines that don't strain your knees or hips. Another misconception is that exercise needs to be intense to be beneficial. In fact, short bursts of gentle movement can be incredibly helpful for digestion, especially if done a couple of hours after meals. Simply raising your arms overhead, stretching your torso, or rotating your shoulders can improve circulation and give your esophagus a better chance of keeping acid where it belongs. Make it fun by turning on some music you enjoy and doing a little dance or sway in your living room if walking is too harsh on your joints. Not only will this help your gut, but it lifts your spirits as well. You may also want to consider posture-focused exercises. When you slouch, your abdomen compresses, making it easier for stomach acid to creep upward. By sitting and standing tall, you're giving your esophagus a straighter path to function properly. Over time, better posture can significantly reduce reflux episodes. Lawrence discovered that practicing simple spine aligning movements before bed helped him sleep more comfortably. Imagine drifting off without that fiery feeling in your chest, simply because you've carried yourself a little differently throughout the day. Physical activity doesn't have to be an ordeal, nor does it have to be time-consuming. The key is consistency and variety. This might mean doing chair stretches one day, taking a short walk the next, and then maybe trying a balance exercise that helps strengthen your core. In each case, you're encouraging your body to handle digestion smoothly. As you consider this second key area, ask yourself, could adding gentle, daily movement be a missing piece in your approach to GERD? If you've been avoiding activity out of fear, it might make reflux worse. Maybe it's time to rethink that. Often, a small step forward, literally, can lead to noticeable improvements in how you feel. How about you? Are you starting to see some possibilities for your daily routine? Whether it's spacing out your meals differently or introducing a little more gentle movement? If you feel unsure where to begin, remember, small changes can yield significant results. Think about which area resonates most with you and jot down 1 or 2 actions you'd like to explore in the coming days. If you start to see a difference, keep going. If not, tweak the strategy until it fits your lifestyle and your body's needs. It's all about finding that sweet spot of consistent, mindful habits that your digestive system will thank you for. While mealtime habits and daily movement are crucial, there's another aspect of GERD management that's frequently overlooked: your stress levels and emotional well-being. It's easy to assume that stress only affects your mind, but it can also profoundly influence digestion. Consider Pauline, who is 72 and has been caring for her husband, who has mobility challenges. Between meal prep, doctor appointments, and housekeeping, Pauline found herself constantly juggling multiple responsibilities. She noticed that her GERD symptoms flared most intensely on days when she felt overwhelmed. At first, she didn't connect her emotional state with her reflux. After all, we usually blame reflux on physical triggers like spicy foods or lying down too soon after eating. Yet chronic stress stimulates the body's fight or flight response, which can slow digestion and alter the balance of acids in the stomach. Pauline initially tried ignoring her stress, thinking she just had to power through. But her digestive discomfort was a persistent reminder that something needed to change. Finally, she joined a local support group where she discovered she wasn't the only one feeling overburdened. She learned simple relaxation exercises, like deep breathing and short guided meditations that could be done even while waiting in a hospital corridor. The impact was subtle at first. She felt a little calmer in the evenings and slept a bit better. Over time, she realized her reflux episodes weren't as frequent or as severe. This wasn't a magic trick. It was simply giving her body a chance to calm down and function more efficiently. When you're under stress, your body is poised for action, not for comfortable digestion. By scheduling brief relaxation breaks, you help your stomach do its job with less interference from stress hormones. You might be thinking, that sounds nice, but I'm not much for meditation. Relaxation doesn't have to mean sitting cross-legged on the floor humming. It could be as simple as listening to your favorite music while taking slow, deliberate breaths. You could pause for a quiet moment in your garden, noticing the color of the flowers and the warmth of the sun. Or you could spend a few minutes writing in a journal, letting your thoughts flow freely. The key is to create short windows of calm throughout the day, giving your mind and body a chance to reset. Another angle to consider is how you respond to reflux episodes when they do happen. Sometimes the moment you feel that burn, you might tense up, feel frustrated, and your stress level spikes. It becomes a vicious cycle. Stress flares, reflux flares, and both feed off each other. Developing a small ritual for those moments, a few deep inhales and exhales, a gentle neck roll, or even a calming mantra can help break this cycle. Pauline discovered that when she stayed relaxed during a reflux flare, it often passed more quickly. It's important to note that effectively managing stress doesn't mean you won't ever feel anxious or overwhelmed. Life continues to bring challenges, but by having practical, easy-to-use tools at your disposal, you can minimize the toll stress takes on your digestion. If you've ever noticed that your reflux is worse on a busy or emotionally heavy day, this third area might be the hidden factor you've been missing. Give yourself permission to unwind, and you may find your digestion unwinds right along with you. We've seen how meal timing, gentle movement, and stress management can each play a part in easing GERD. Now let's look at an element that's especially important in later life: how we talk to our healthcare providers about medications, and, more importantly, how we can stay proactive in our medication routine. Too often, we assume that once we're given a prescription, our role is just to take the pill and hope for the best. But active engagement can make all the difference. Let's take the story of Dennis, who is 77 and lives on his own. He'd been on the same acid-suppressing medication for years. Over time, he noticed diminishing returns. It didn't seem to be working as well as before. When he finally brought it up with his pharmacist, he learned about the concept of medication review. This is where healthcare providers look at all your medications to identify possible overlaps or conflicts. Turns out Dennis was taking another drug for arthritis pain that might have been interacting with his GERD medication. His doctor adjusted the timing and dosage of each, and Dennis experienced a noticeable improvement within weeks. The misconception many seniors have is that more medication means better control. Not necessarily. Sometimes the solution lies in fine-tuning what you're already taking. It could be that a lower dose taken at a different time of day or switching to a medication with fewer side effects might help. The only way to figure that out is through open, ongoing conversations with your healthcare providers. If you're concerned about cost or side effects, bring that up too. It's better to explore options than to suffer in silence or accept that a certain level of discomfort is unavoidable. One overlooked aspect of medication management is adherence. Sometimes we forget a dose or take it with a meal when it should be taken on an empty stomach. We might even stop a medication abruptly if we feel better for a few days, only to discover that our symptoms return with a vengeance. Developing a simple routine, like placing pills in a daily organizer or setting a phone alarm, can keep you on track. If you're more old school, writing reminders on a calendar or making notes in a small notebook can be just as effective. It's also worth discussing complementary approaches with your provider. Could certain supplements or herbal teas support digestion without clashing with your medications? Is there a way to space your pills so they don't interfere with each other? Many doctors appreciate proactive patients who come in with questions rather than those who just nod and take the prescription slip. By understanding why you're taking a medication and how it should be used, you gain a sense of control that can directly impact how well you manage GERD. Emotionally, being involved in your treatment helps dispel the feeling of helplessness that can creep in. Dennis shared that once he started having these in-depth discussions, he felt less anxious about his reflux. He no longer wondered, "What if I'm doing something wrong?" because he had a plan and a supportive medical team. That emotional boost can be as impactful as any pill when it comes to overall well-being. If you've ever taken your medication as prescribed but still felt that nagging burn in your throat, consider this final piece of the puzzle. Your doctor can't know what you're experiencing unless you share the details. Don't hesitate to follow up if something's not working. Ask about adjustments, alternatives, or additional diagnostics. By advocating for yourself, you stand a much better chance of finding the combination of treatment and lifestyle changes that bring genuine, lasting relief. Before we wrap up, take a moment to reflect on these 4 key areas: meal habits, gentle movement, stress management, and proactive medication discussions. Which of these have you overlooked or written off as unimportant? Which ones resonate with your current lifestyle? And which ones might require a bit of creativity to implement? It's all about finding a balance that fits you, your schedule, and your unique health profile. Just imagine months from now enjoying your evening tea without that familiar worry creeping up. Visualize waking up in the morning without that raw feeling in your throat and having the energy to embrace your day. These aren't far-fetched dreams. They're entirely possible outcomes of a well-rounded GERD management plan. Of course, this is not to say that every day will be perfect. You may still have occasional flare-ups, but by staying consistent with these strategies, you can reduce their frequency and intensity. The best part? These lifestyle tweaks don't just help with GERD. They often improve your overall health, boosting your mood, increasing your mobility, and enhancing your sense of autonomy. If you're feeling a sense of urgency, that's good. Sometimes it's easy to push off these changes, telling ourselves we'll get to them next week or next month. But the truth is, your body's always giving you signals, and if you don't respond, those signals can grow louder. Better to address them now while you have the opportunity to make steady, impactful changes. GERD can steal your comfort and peace of mind, but it doesn't have to if you take action. One simple way to start is by picking a single step from each area. Maybe you decide to eat dinner an hour earlier, take a 5-minute walk afterward, do a short breathing exercise before bed, and set up a medication review appointment with your doctor next month. 4 small actions, each one manageable, yet collectively they can form a powerful response to your reflux. As you build momentum, you can refine and expand these steps, eventually crafting a personalized routine that meets your needs. Whether you implement 1, 2, or all these strategies, keep listening to your body. Celebrate the small victories, like going 1 extra day without reflux, sleeping through the night, or enjoying a new food that you'd previously avoided. Each success is a reminder that you're moving in the right direction, and don't forget to share your experiences with a friend or family member who might be dealing with similar issues. Together, you can encourage one another and swap tips that make the journey smoother. As we close, I'd like to leave you with a final thought. You are not defined by your age or your diagnosis. You carry the wisdom of experience, and you have the capability to adapt and thrive. GERD may be persistent, but so are you. The real secret lies in remembering that you have options. Medications are a valuable tool, but they're not the whole story. By blending healthy habits, gentle movement, emotional self-care, and a proactive stance on medications, you can rewrite your story with GERD into one of greater comfort and confidence. So go ahead and take that first step. Your future self and your digestive system will thank you for it.